Hello and good morning. Happy Halloween. It is Halloween 2023. My name is Melissa and this is Budgeting Over 40. So today I am going to go over my October budget spreadsheet. Now, if this is something that you're interested in, come on back. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'm going to go over real quick. I'm going to make this as short as possible. I'm going to go over my October budget spreadsheet. It's I If you have seen my video for my YNAB closeout, I'll link it in the cards. It's a little bit different from this budget spreadsheet. And if anyone is like me, I like to see it both ways. I don't think YNAB captures um, the full picture in my eyes because I like to see things black and white, really. Um, so like inflows and uh, rollovers, anything from savings, YNAB typically, as far as I can understand, don't cover those. They don't show them in your budget when you close out your month. Because when I went back and I rewatched my video for my YNAB closeout, I do see that the income is much different from what I'm going to show you here. So um, I think going forward, I'm still going to continue doing my budget spreadsheets. So let's go down. So my theme for October was consistency is key, as you can see here. I try to be consistent. I don't know if I pulled it off 100%, but it's good to have a goal and a vision in mind. So let's go down. First up, we're going to go over the income section. So total rollover. So let's go back, rewind. September was a magic month for us, for hubby and I. And what we call a magic month, if you are not familiar, is if you are a biweekly paycheck earner, there is 2 months out of the year that you get three paychecks in a month, and September was one of those months for us. So we got a total of three paychecks. So the last paycheck in September was on the 29th. So we had a lot of money to roll over into October. So as you can see here, it was $3,564.68. And that includes hubby's contribution and my paycheck. And I had a little bit of overtime on that paycheck. So that's why. And in the month of October, I got my two paychecks, which total $4,714.64. And it was my regular paycheck of $2,357.32 for each. SSI for my son came in on target. Every month it's the same. Hubby transferred in a little less than I was expecting. Sometimes this happens, sometimes it's more. He transferred in $1,800.85. The 85 cents is a little weird. He did buy something that he reimbursed me for, and he sent a little bit more than what he charged. So in cash rewards, I had a few things that happened, which total $79.25. So Upside is for gas. I buy gas through the Upside app, or link it through the Upside app, and I made a total of $20.93 in cashback rewards. Venmo for Surveys to Go is Surveys to Go is an app that you complete surveys and they pay out via Venmo. That was for $10.50. Coin Out is a rewards app for your receipts. It's just like Fetch, but they pay you out in cash. So I made $10 through there. Apple Cash, I charge my Apple Card for for some expenses throughout the month, and I got $7.50 in cash back that I sent to my account. That wasn't the only amount for the month, but it was the only amount that I had sent to my account. There was a lot of the amounts that I reapplied to the balance on the card. My Discover card also did a promotional period for rewards where I earned 5% on um, 5% on gas And that goes along with Upside because when I went through Upside and bought gas, I used my Discover card to pay for the charges. I got a total of $30.23 in cash back from Discover. So that totals $79.25. Also in October, there was some miscellaneous monies that came in. So from savings, I had to transfer in $610.54 to help me cover bills. And there was a miscellaneous check that I got from my insurance that I'm pretty sure they're gonna send me a bill from my doctor's office. I haven't seen it yet, so I deposited a check into my account for $347.56. That totaled $958.10. So, as you can see in the difference column, I wasn't expecting this much rollover, so I was in the positive for $1,564.68. My paychecks was a little bit more than I budgeted of $13.70. Hubby was under his amount by $199.15. Cashback was completely not budgeted for, and miscellaneous and savings and side hustle. I was hoping to make $250, which I really didn't. So I am under by. I'm actually for that section. I'm over by $708.10 because I transferred in money from my savings. Now total income, I had 12,417.62. That put me over my budgeted amount in a good way by $2,166.64. Now let's go down to our expenses. Now the fixed expenses was first up, and I spent $2,500 on my rent as usual. My electric came in on budget at $176. I had put in my budget for $200 for heating oil. I didn't need any. And for propane, I also didn't need any. So we're at zero for those. Absent subscriptions, I had budgeted $160, but I chopped it down a little bit, and it was total of $143.66, and that is under budget by $16.34. Renter's insurance wasn't due this month, but I keep it in my budget just to, keep me on track and keep it at the forefront. So that was $0. My internet, I budgeted $115 and it came out to be $116.06. So I was over budget by $1.06. My cell phone was budgeted at $294 and it came in under budget for $252.94. And it's going down because there was four cell phones that was on my plan. Now there's only two cell phones. I'm sorry, there was three cell phones and an Apple Watch that was on my plan that I was paying installments on. One of them is completely paid off, so one fell off. So that's why it's lower. So I went down, I'm under budget by $41.06. So total budgeted for fixed expenses was $3,679, and I came in way under budget, which is great, at $3,188.66. So I was $490.34 under budget. Now for my debt payment section, I didn't budget anything for ECSI, which is my student loan. I budgeted $600 for One Main Financial, and for Lending Club, my other personal loan, was $1,100 for a total of $1,700 for the month. I did pay my student loans $85, which was over budget. $600 went to One Main, which was on budget, and Lending Club, I paid the regular monthly payment of $1,059.22, and that was under budget by $40.78. So total budgeted actual for the month was $1,744.22, which brought me under budget by $44, and actually I'm over budget by $44.22. Now my credit card section, and I separate my credit card from my regular debt section. So my credit card section, For my Marcus credit card, I budgeted $0, but there was a balance on that account of 108 and $118.93, and I went ahead and paid that in full. So I'm over budget by that amount. My Discover card was on budget for $176. So was Mattress Firm for $67. And for my Capital One number one card, I was over budget just by $1 for $230. Capital One number two, there was a balance on it. I wasn't paying attention to it for $117.74. This came in mid month actually, and I went ahead and paid it off in full. My Apple Card, I didn't put anything towards the minimum payment because me using the card every month or on a day to day basis satisfies the minimum payment. So I didn't pay any of that. Klarna was something I completely forgot about for $243.40. And that was for a charge that I had. And Klarna, if you're not aware, it's a pay in four and it goes out bi weekly along with your pay schedule, or it actually just goes out bi weekly. So there was two payments due in October, and the same 243.40 is now going to be due in November also. Afterpay is at zero balance. I don't have anything on there. So my total budgeted for my credit cards was $472, but I was over, and I paid out $953.07, which put me over budget by $481.07. Not great, but I'm glad to say that I have a couple cards that are at zero balance now. My transportation section is next. My auto loan was on budget for $1,000. My car insurance was under budget. I had budgeted $246.84, and I only spent $239.84, which brought me under budget by $7. Tolls and parking, I didn't budget anything. I didn't pay anything out. Gas for the car, I budgeted $150, but I spent $262.76, which was over budget by $112.76. So I went into detail in my YNAB closeout. Take a look. I'm gonna link it in the cards for what happened with my numbers. Maintenance and repairs, I spent $37, which was for the annual inspection on one of our vehicles. I didn't budget for that. Total spent in my transportation category was $1,539.60, and I was over budget by $142.76. Now, my personal section is a little out of control. I only budgeted $200 for the month, 90 to personal spending, 50 to budget supplies, and $60 to pedicure. I spent $587.60 in the personal spending section because we ended up having to buy airplane tickets to go to Florida. I've mentioned this a few times in my other videos. We're going on a cruise, hubby and I, at the end of the year. So that pushed me over budget at $497.60. My budget supplies went over budget because I ordered my new planner printables from Jessica Ann Papers Planner. So total was $129.84, and that included some other budget supplies that I needed. So I was over budget by $79.84. Hair and grooming, I got some stuff for my hair at $70.46, and I was over budget by that amount because I didn't budget anything. But however, I had budgeted $60 for pedicures, and I didn't get a pedicure this month or in the month of October, so I was way under. And for clothes and shoes, I ended up buying some knickknacks there for myself at $39.55, and that wasn't budgeted for. So total amount was spent was $827.45, which pushed me over budget by $627.45. Next is my variable spending category. It was $1,200 budgeted for my groceries. I spent $1,200, or say $1,281.32, which pushed me over budget by $81.32, which in my eyes is a win. Household goods, we didn't budget anything for that, and I spent $603.14, which was way over budget. And anyway, we got some stuff for the bathrooms. Copay was budgeted at $50. I went over because there was a dental bill that I have to pay that I'm going to submit to my dental insurance for them to reimburse me. I don't know how long that's going to take to come in, but the charge was $1,353, which pushed me over budget by $1,303. Meds was for $25. That was my budgeted amount, but I went over by $4.35 for a total actual spending of $29.35. Eating out is the other section that I need to reel in. I only budgeted $100 and I spent $152.61, which pushed me over budget by $52.61. Total for my variable spending for the month was $3,419.42. I was over budget by $2,044.42. Credit card interest, I didn't budget anything. I did pay some out. Um, I'm not sure if I really want to enter this in here because there is a few of them. This is a YNAB feature that I do like, but because they were credit cards expenses, I mean credit card charges that I did, I'm not gonna put the credit card interest in here because I technically still spent on credit cards, so I'll leave that. Next is my kids section. The babysitter was budgeted at $880. I spent a total of $910 for a $30 overage. Child support came in on budget at $526. Toys and activities, $75.79. That was not budgeted for. Clothes and shoes, $20.80. That was also not budgeted for. Supplies for $45.99. That was not budgeted for either. $500 is a payment for my son's orthodontic treatment. If you, like I said, I go over all the charges in my YNAB closeout. You can take a look. Fund money was $32.03. That was over budget. And haircuts, I went over budget by $5 because I tipped $10. I usually only tip $5 because his haircut is $30 per cut. For total spent of $2,150.61, which was over budget by $709.61. Savings and sinking funds, I actually pull stuff from that category and I only put $10 back in. So my grand total of savings, which is not great, is only $10 this month. So if we go down to the total expenses, I budgeted for $10,263.84. I ended up spending $13,833.03 for an over budgeted amount of $3,569.19. Now let's sum it up. So my total budgeted income was $10,250.98. I was expecting my expenses to be $10,263.84, which was putting me over for $12.86, which to me wasn't bad because I was expecting my grocery budget to be my grocery spending was to be lower than what I had budgeted for, but in actuality, everything went completely different. I brought in a total income or inflow of $12,417.62, and the actual expenses was $13,833.03, which put me over budget by $1,415.41. So the difference between all that right now is I'm in the red for $1,402.55. Now this amount is what I put on credit cards. So reason why I like to see it this way is because when I look at it in YNAB, because YNAB doesn't take into full consideration my inflows, whether transfer from savings, that's a big one of them is transfers from saving. It does not take into consideration. So it didn't give me the full picture. Now, seeing it this way, I feel so much better than what I had seen on YNAB because YNAB had me in the red for $4,000. But seeing it this way, I only put a total of $1,402.55 on credit cards that I'm going to have to pay back. So I'm going to continue doing these spreadsheets per month. If you guys like them, just leave me a comment whether you like the YNAB section of it or you like the spreadsheet section of it. But I love to see the spreadsheet because it gives me a better picture of what my finances are. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, come back and see me, share your comments, share your suggestions. Like I said, I'm trying to reel everything in. November is going to be a better month, and going forward, everything is going to be better because now I am being held accountable by putting this out there. I'm seeing it in my face when I have to record these videos and edit. So it's given me a better picture. So if you had fun, come on back for more, and we will see you in the next one. So my name is Melissa, and this is Budgeting Over 40. Bye, guys.